work's going to need to dial back so that you can then put that energy elsewhere, because otherwise this is going to consume you and the wheels are going to fall off over here. What's up, guys? I hope you're well. So the other week I had to take my car in for its MOT. And if you're not from the UK, I don't know what the other worldly equivalents to this are, but it's effectively where you take your car to a garage and they check over the most important features of it, the brakes, the suspension, the wheels, the lights, etc., to make sure that it's roadworthy, to make sure that it's safe to be on the road doing what it's purposed to do. And the idea is that everything's fine. I'm talking maybe to people who don't have cars and don't know this stuff. If everything's fine, you get your MOT certificate and you're good to go. And if everything's not fine, you'll either get what's called advisories, which are things that you need to take a look at but are not pressing right now. Or they'll tell you this work needs to be done or your car will fail its MOT. You will not get it. And the reason I'm trying to paint this picture for you, for those of you who go, yeah, we've all got cars, we know what an MOT is, no need to explain, is whilst I was waiting for my car to be MOT'd, I was thinking about the MOT of our minds. I spoke in the other video about how people always like to make that analogy to us about, your body's like a car and you've got to put the right fuel in it to make it run. It's like a high performance vehicle. And a lot of people draw analogies to these machines and how we are effectively a very complicated, very sophisticated machine. And like all machines, whether it be your computer and you running antivirus software or defragmenting it, or your car or a motorbike that you take in for a service, we need to do maintenance. So we need to, at points, instead of always just making it do what it does, we need to be able to take it away from what it does and look at it in a very objective way about what we need to work on and what we need to fix. And it's very easy to not do this stuff until it's very, very necessary. So MOTs are required every year. If they weren't required every year, I would guarantee you that a lot of people, maybe the vast majority, would simply drive their cars until something went wrong. Until the wheel fell off or exploded or the brakes didn't work. They'd wait until the problem presents itself in life and then deal with it, which by that point can be very damaging and be way too late. You leave a car too long, maybe you're driving along a motorway and your wheel blows out. That's going to do a lot of damage. There's going to be a problem. In the same way that if we don't look after ourselves, and I'm talking in this video particularly about your mind, but this applies to your body as well. Go see a doctor, get blood tests done, stay on top of your health and what you're eating and all the rest of it. Stay out of the sun, la la la. But in terms of our mind, we need to look after it because it's a very powerful computer. And it consumes an awful lot of information, and the likelihood is it produces an awful lot of things. It's an idea machine, and it needs to be looked after. So I was trying to think to myself, what would our mind MOT look like? What would be the main things that we would need to make sure that we're ticking off to ensure that we have got a healthy mind, a healthy outlook on whatever it is that we're trying to do and achieve in life? So I came to a few ideas and I want to share them with you. Hopefully they're helpful. This is by no means the blueprint, but it's a few ideas for you guys to take away and have a think about. I spoke before about the 4 pillars that I put my life into: family and, relationships, family and friends. My love relationships, as in my wife and my children, my pets, the people who I directly, very deeply care about. I put that as a separate thing. And then my hobbies and interests, so the things that make me happy, the things that I enjoy doing and expressing myself through, whether that be sports, photography, drawing, whatever it might be. And my work, the thing that I produce, the way that the input I give into the world and what I then therefore get compensated for doing so. And I think your MOT needs to start there because those things are all going to dramatically affect your mental well-being. So how is your job? Are you happy? in it? Does it fulfill you? Do you feel a sense of purpose in what you're doing? These are the kind of questions when you're sitting down to have your MOT that you ask yourself. Are you doing your hobbies? Are you engaging with activities outside of your daily life that bring you joy and that challenge you and test you and allow you to express who you are through different mediums? Maybe it's playing a musical instrument. Maybe it's doing a certain sport, getting to the gym, whatever it is for you, sitting down and drawing, coloring in, but it allows you a sense of self-expression beyond just what you produce in your work. How is your family? Have you visited your grandparents, your parents? Have you been in touch with those cousins that you love, but they live a little further away? And in hand with that, I also put friends in with family, because some of my friends, some of my dearest friends, they're not blood related to me, but I consider them like family. I hold them with the same regard. I would care just as much if they got sick as if someone of my own family got sick. Are you talking to your friends? Do you need to call somebody? Do you need to check in? Have you gone for coffee with anybody recently? And then finally, your inner circle, that deep love connection. When was the last time you and your partner went on a date? Or that you just bought them a little present just because? When was the last time you told them how beautiful they were or how much you love them? When was the last time you spent some special quality time with your kids, without a phone, without distractions, and with no one else around? These are the things you want to just get a little check-in on. The suspension, the brakes, the engine, these main elements of your vehicle, of the reason that you are what you are. The reason we have cars is to get from A to B. The reason we're here, the purpose of our life, is to do all of this, to be with people, to interact, to serve, to give back, to create. These are all the things that humans just naturally seem to gravitate towards doing. So check these parts of your life and answer these hard questions about where your energy is and where you could better put it. And I think that will bring up an awful lot of stuff. Because if you're not spending time with your wife, then that's something you need to address, not only, of course, with her, but within yourself. You need to ask yourself, well, why? Why don't I? Do I not want to? Do I not have the time? Do I not have the energy? Why don't I? What can I do to change it? And just bringing this self-awareness to you, which is all it ever really is about. No one's perfect. No one's getting it right all the time. In fact, more often than not, at least 1 out of those 4 is going to be completely out of whack. And it's completely normal. But if you don't check in every now and then, that one that's out of whack, 'cause this is how it goes on your car, your brakes, they wear down, you don't realize it. But thankfully, you get it in for an MOT and they check them and they tell you need to change them. So at some point, you get that reminder and you get that trigger to make a change. Whereas if you haven't seen your friends or your family for a year, and there's no particular reason why, or there is a little reason why that you've just chosen to ignore and not resolve, then it might develop into something far worse. And a quick example here is there's someone you haven't spoke to for the longest time. There's no real reason why. You wish you'd reach out more, and then suddenly you hear that they passed away. Maybe suddenly, maybe very unexpectedly, they're no longer with us. And you didn't take the chance. You didn't have that opportunity to even spend another moment with them. And just let that resonate with you for a moment, because that would be a real shame. Wouldn't be the end of the world, hopefully, for you, but it would certainly be a shame. And it's something that most definitely could have been avoided had you had just checked in with yourself, your needs, and what's truly important to you. So I recommend more than once a year, ideally once a month if you can, once a week if you're up for it. Sit down, maybe just write out 4 headings of these 4 areas of your life and just give yourself a personal mental MOT, a well-being check. Just take a look at yourself very objectively, don't get too emotionally caught up in it, and just check that you're hitting all the bases. And if you're not, just make sure you understand why. If you're really dialed into work right now, and that means that other areas of your life are slacking a little bit, just be aware of that. and aware that at some point work's going to need to dial back so that you can then put that energy elsewhere, because otherwise this is going to consume you and the wheels are going to fall off over here. Take some time, do a personal MOT. If you've got any ideas about how you like to just check in with yourself, then please comment below. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to throw at me that I can try and give you some advice on, then please let us know. Please like the video, please subscribe, and as always, take care of yourself.